How you doing, YouTube? Matt Mess of Beer Reviews back to get another review. A little bit of dry hopped, hopeful chuggable pale ale time in the form of Tröegs Brewing Company. It is their trail day. Dry hopped pale ale. Tröegs. I don't remember the last Tröegs beer I reviewed, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't pick their beers up all that often, and that's kind of just a me problem. I should be. I dig all their beers. Anytime I go out to visit my brother or my father, they live out in Harrisburg, out by Hershey, and I always stop at Tröegs, and it's probably one of my favorite breweries to visit. Their beers are always absolutely fantastic. They are kind of the Merriam-Webster dictionary of just well-made beers. It's just, for some reason, I don't really pick up their stuff all that often. Now, this beer, I saw it at a local to-go place on my way home from work, and I didn't pick it up. I just was like, Why? I don't know why. It's like a 5.5% pale ale. It's right up my alley. But I said, I'll get it next time. And a couple days later, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Go pick that up. Go there. Gone. Dunzo. I was like, you son of a bitch. Because it's relatively fresh. This was canned. They do freshest by January of 3rd, 2020. But I think this came out early September of 2019. And this is like eking towards the end. So it's less than a month old. Let's put it that way. Anyway. So I was kind of pissed at myself. Longer story longer. I go to another place on the way home today, not looking for this, just randomly want to pick some up. There it is. So here we go. We're going to dive into this sucker. So yeah, Tröegs, a little double dry hopped, extra hopped, kind of hazy pale ale, mind you. Yeah, I will be going to Tröegs in a couple weeks. The 13th of October, I will be there. And as far as labels go, I mean, I dig it. I've always kind of liked Tröegs labels. Some hit me, some don't. You know, I can get down with some. But for the most part, I kind of like them. This one, I don't know. Something about it, I kind of dig it. There you go. Plus, this is like a kind of, it says on the back here, kind of, it's proceeds from this beer kind of co-help with something to do with the Kittatinny Ridge Trail. Hence the whole trail day beer. I have a soft spot for Kittatinny because I spent my childhood in the Kittatinny Mountains of New Jersey, though. But yeah, anyway. Dig the labeling and get down with it. And as far as the beer goes, you know, you're talking about Tröegs, you're talking about a pale ale, even though it's extra hopped, you don't expect a new school style hazy, but that's what you're getting here. Kind of that rich, kind of orange glow, pinky finger, infinitely fluffy, creamy head to it. I mean, she looks the part of a new school kind of pale hazy. Kind of exciting. Let's get a nose. I mean, she has a soft stone fruit, soft citrus thing going on. It's orange, it's grapefruit, it's a little bit of pineapple, but it's very soft. Very light. There's no sharp edges to it. Same thing with stone fruit. Very light kind of peachiness to it. A little tangerine, a little nectarine vibes going on there. Very small, very soft kind of vibes going on there. Soft sweetness. Ever so slight bit of bitterness in there. That's pretty much it. It smells like a 5.5% pale ale. It's a little extra hop forward. So they're on the nose so far. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay, I can drink 9 gallons of this. This is kind of right in my wheelhouse as far as beers go. They talk about the hops on here. They talk about everything, actually, on the can. They're using a unmalted wheat, oats, honey malt, and Pilsner malt. I love when people use honey malt in IPAs very much. They're talking about hops is Citra, Lotus, and Eldorado. You don't see Lotus all that often. And it just works, man. It's got this soft citrus vibes. That little bit of peach nose I was getting, not really following up all that much in the mouth. It's more citrus leaning with a little bit of soft kind of star fruit, tropical fruit, kiwi vibes on the other end of things. But it doesn't get overly sweet, so it doesn't want to, your brain doesn't want to go too far in that tropical fruit direction because it's not overly sweet. It's not a dry beer, but it gives you that kind of mouthfeel you get from that wheat and the flaked oats to give you a ever so slightest bit of soft dryness to it that's somewhere outside of your typical yeast. So it's not a yeast dryness, it's more of that kind of extra heft body in a lower ABV beer that gives you a little bit of softness that kind of mimics a little bit of dryness, makes you want to go back for a little bit more. And it's just a really pretty beer. I mean, you're talking about 5.5%. Sweet enough, not overly bittering, even though it's a soft bittering. It's very nondescript. That just works a little bit with that soft sweetness. I like that little bit of soft tropical fruit kiwi thing that's coming in there. It's very nice. And the way the citrus plays, it doesn't get overly bittering, overly variety, overly pithy, overly juicy. It's more of a nice, flat, rounded. That's the theme of this beer. It's rounded from the flake oats, the way they work with the wheat, to the hops, to everything about it. It's kind of an expressive lower ABV IPA with a soft edge to it. That is a long-winded way of saying it's really creepily drinkable. This is delicious. This is absolutely fantastic. If I look at a 5.5% extra hopped pale ale, this is kind of where I want it to land. I kind of open this up saying, Tröegs is that Merriam-Webster dictionary of like making well done beers, clean beers, just a staple of the brewerydom. Yeah, tried to make up a word there. And this beer kind of shows. It's got a lot of new schoolness to it. It's taking a lot of new school elements, but it's keeping that uber tradition of being very kind of, the beer comes first. Let's make a really good beer that just happens to be a new school hazy, as opposed to let's make a hazy IPA and hopefully it comes out well. No, this is Tröegs through and through, but it has a lot of those new school kind of nuances and principles to it. That's just the things that you know and love about Tröegs that make the beer so delicious. Yeah, I love this beer. I like it. I'm glad I have 3 other ones. They're not going to last that long. I need to get myself some more. So let's talk about it. It's one of the better lower ABV hop forward beers I've had. Yes, it's eking towards the top. It might be getting in that upper echelon, top tier status, eking towards that Mount Rushmore status. But listen, it's fantastic. There's probably ones that I dig better than this, to be honest with you. Ones that are a little bit more impactful, give me a little bit more flavor and expressiveness at this ABV or even lower. But something has to be said for drinkability with enough impact to kind of turn you on. And that's where this one really shines. So it's not the most impactful 5.5% pale ale extra hopped beer, but it's one of the most drinkable and one of the more pleasurable ones. And that's pretty awesome. Value and availability. I don't know what I paid for this. I think it was $13 for a 4-pack all day. Have no problem with that price point. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you just like chuggers, you like hazies, you like chuggers, you like well-made beer, you like Tröegs, you like beer. You like drinking beer. Because that's what this is. It's beer drinking beer. And there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little Tröegs jammer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.